Hello, and welcome to Empowered to Thrive. I'm your host, Corrine Powell, and it is my pleasure to spend this time with you. Thanks for joining me and for taking care of yourself in this way, for carving out time to support yourself, to give yourself a mental break. And I hope that you leave this space feeling a little bit lighter, feeling as if you've gotten a warm embrace, because that is my heart's hope. As a mom to four kids, sometimes I talk about parenting. And that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. I hope you'll stick with me, even if you're not a parent, because this is not about being a parent. It's just a perspective I want to share. I recently celebrated my 38th birthday, and I learned from a friend, an adult friend, who had birthday parties for herself almost every year, how important it is that we not stop celebrating and specifically celebrating our birthday, although there's many things to celebrate all year round that we do, we accomplish. And so I started to have my own birthday parties as an adult, beginning at age 30. I haven't had it consistently every year, but it's been my aim to because I enjoy it so much. And thanks to my husband helping to make sure it happened this year, we had the party and we had it at a friend's house. She hosted it on her property, and I was trying to be strategic about it because I've learned over the years I can host it at my house and have all my kids there and prep the food, but that's not as enjoyable as doing less. So, like the program that I offer, How to Radically Change Your Holidays, I learned over the years how to change my holidays. And one of the ways I do that is by doing less. So I catered the food this year, and my friend made a few things, and we had it at her house so that I wouldn't have to parent at the same time as hosting. And the day of the party, two of my kids wanted to come, my oldest two. And I knew that my kids wanted to be there. But as I thought about it, my almost 13-year-old daughter and my 11-year-old son, I said to myself, and I had told them this a while ago, I wouldn't mind if they were there. They're not the ones who need as much from me at an event as my younger two. So we ended up having them come. And to be honest, my husband was a little bit apprehensive. He also wanted the evening off. We hardly ever get time off. We don't have a lot of times where we're just able to go out without our kids. So this was a big deal. We've been looking forward to this for months. And as we drove over to my friend's house, I was super hopeful that it would go as I anticipated, that it really wouldn't be a lot of work for my husband, that my kids would be able to be independent, and that we wouldn't need to feel like we were parenting them during the evening. And in retrospect, it went as I hoped. They were fine. They didn't need us. We didn't need to micromanage them. They chatted with people they knew. They were just fine. They were a part of the group. And I thought to myself afterwards, how beautiful, and during, how beautiful it is to be able to be a parent who doesn't mind having their children around and to have children who are getting older, but not to rush it, to enjoy the fact that, yes, my children are getting older. And of course, that means different responsibilities. I have to parent them in a different way than I used to. And I still have other children that are younger, but I'm enjoying the different stages and I'm enjoying my children along the way. I want to broadcast this because so often we see something different. We see parents who don't like to be around their children or children who don't like to be around their parents. We see that in different ages and stages, whether that's the 2-year-old stage or the teenager stage or the tween stage, parents who are frustrated and angry and annoyed with their children, children and parents who don't get along, who don't enjoy each other, who are not able to understand each other. Creates a lot of tension. It creates a lot of stress in the body and in the atmosphere, and it's detrimental to the relationship. We know some children are just wishing and waiting to be at the age where they can move out, or parents are waiting for their children to be at the age where they can move out. And again, I believe that every stage holds its own difficulties and challenges and stresses, but there's also gifts and beauty in the different stages. And there's nothing wrong with being excited about your children getting to the age where they can move out and have more independence, or a child getting excited about that for themselves. I just want to say that it is possible to experience something different than culture says, or that culture shows, or that TV shows. And how we can get that is in part, in a big part, by creating emotional connection with them during their young years, by creating a sense of safety in the relationship, allowing them to experience their emotions around us and us be a steady person able to co-regulate with them, by us being someone that doesn't get offended and upset when they take their emotions out on us. One of my children will be so vocal and sometimes rude, very emotional. And afterwards, they'll say, you know, it wasn't even you I was upset with. I just took out all my feelings around you because I felt comfortable or safe to do that. And because I know that and I believe that even before they say it, I can allow them to have their experience near me, in front of me, next to me, and not take it to heart. It's not about me, it's about them and their inner world. Sometimes children are expressing their emotions because of the actions or lack thereof of the parent. Then it's important we as parents witness ourselves, look inward, hear what our children are saying, and try to make change for the sake of them, for the sake of the relationship. And there's other times where our children are just feeling what they're feeling. It's not about us. Can we be a safe place for them to feel their feelings and experience the full range of emotions and not need them to stop, not need them to get over it quickly, not need them to go to their room until they feel better? This is vital. It is so important that we be the change makers in our culture, that we do something differently than we're seeing done many times. It will produce different results. And the ripple effect is profound. This is not something that's just impacting us and our children. It's impacting future generations. It's impacting the people that we rub shoulders with, that our children rub shoulders with. And if you're listening and you don't have a child, there's so much you can be taking from this conversation because you interact with other people. So this is your friendly reminder that people's emotions, what they say, how they respond to you is not always about you. Oftentimes, it's about something else going on in their world, something else that they've experienced, something else someone has said or done, and what they're feeling inside as a result. We need to culturally stop taking everything so personally and recognize that there's a lot of reasons people are triggered. A lot of times people are projecting their pain onto us, and it's not about us. It's very normal for a child to think everything's about them. They see you whispering to someone else and they say, "Are you talking about me?" And it's also important as we grow up that we go through the emotional stages of development and we grow out of being a child emotionally. We're going to grow out of being a child physically. Our bodies are developing and growing, but emotionally, we can stay stuck as a child. And then that handicaps us because we will look at the lens as if we are the child. We will assume everything is about us. We will take things personally. Will we respond in the same way a child would? Oftentimes, when you see a grown up throwing a tantrum, it's the emotional part of them responding as if they're a young child. That's why you hear me say the inner child so often, because there is a little kid inside each of us who still lives on. And they need our attention, they deserve it. And when we give it to them, we actually mature emotionally. We grow up emotionally. We desperately need to be people willing to grow up emotionally. Our society as a whole needs that. And it starts with each one of us. We're only responsible for ourselves, and we have a lot of power over ourselves. You can change if you want to. It'll take effort and intention, but doesn't everything? Everything takes effort and intention. So pause within yourself and reflect on the things I've said. What is the one thing that you've heard that you need to take some action on? One thing, and start to do something with it. That's always my suggestion because if we try to tackle too many things at once, none of that will be sustainable in the long term. But if you look at one thing and you focus on that one thing and you create change in that one area, that change can be sustained. And then after a while, you can look at another area to create change in. But be consistent and show up for a long time in the one area that you're trying to create change in. That's the secret. That is the secret to creating radical change in your life. So, my friend, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening with your heart, for being proactive. You are the world changer, and we need you. And I'll hope to see you back here next week. Much love.